you started off VF-22 was your VFA-22 was your first.
Mm-hmm.
And what aircraft were they flying?
We were flying FA-18E Super Hornets.
Okay. And real quick, tell everybody that nomenclature. What does the V, the F, and the A stand for?
So the Navy has some interesting naming conventions. So V for a squadron, it stands for fixed wing.
Okay.
And the F is for fighter, A is for attack. So just breaking down VFA, it's a fixed wing fighter attack squadron. The numbers, I don't think they have any real historical, or and not they only have really historical value. Like that's what VFA-22 was stood up as. But the 2 and the 2 that doesn't really mean much. It's just the number of the
just
squadron.
Differentiates between that and 21.
That's right. Okay. And there's no logical like sequence of there. It doesn't go 1 through 22. That there's kind of random numbers and we inherited a lot of these numbers from World War II, Vietnam, Korea. So that's what the VFA stands for.
And what's the difference between fighter and attack? And how is it that sometimes you have both? I don't know that I've ever seen a VA, but I've always seen VF. Is there a VA?
So that's a really good question. Historically, the Navy had squadrons that were more specialized. So I'll generalize it now in that VFA, we do the strike fighter mission. So we can release ordnance that is guided on the ground at targets, or we can shoot down aerial targets. So we do fighter, which is air-to-air, and attack, which is the air-to-ground mission. Not that long ago, in early 90s and through the 80s and even earlier, there were squadrons that were VF. So those were just fixed-wing fighter squadrons. And the Tomcat, the F-14...
That was more air-to-air.
That was designed as an air superiority, an air interceptor, and wasn't originally designed to do any air-to-surface ordnance delivery at all. So you had squadrons that were VF, and that was their mission. Air superiority, air intercept, make sure the Russians don't send a Bear bomber aircraft. And that's what they trained to. That's all they did. And then there were VA squadrons, so fixed wing, attack, A4s, smaller, highly maneuverable
God,
aircraft.
That's such an old airplane. No wonder I don't even remember that. Okay.
So that's the mission. They were due just the air-to-ground mission. So, unguided weapons, suppression of enemy air defenses, air-to-ground strafe. Those were the types of missions. They were highly separated, and that's where you had VF squadrons, VA squadrons, and now we've kind of combined them to have VFA squadrons. And a really big part of that is the aircraft.
Yeah, I was going to say.
A Super Hornet can do both. And so that's why instead of having a bunch of different aircraft, you can have one type of aircraft, a multi-role strike fighter, and train to do air-to-air and train to do the air-to-ground mission. So that's kind of the genesis of what the names mean and kind of how some of the platforms tie into it.